In 1977, a small factory in Colvin, Leicester got to work on something that would change the lives of countless people. Little did they realise that people were still caring enough 40 years later to sit and listen to a guy waffle on about that product. This is the Star Wars Toy Podcast. Hello there, and welcome to episode 31 of the Star Wars Toy Podcast. I am Darth Mark, and on this week's show is going to be a bit of a mixed bag. It's going to be really just an update show, something to get us up to speed on what's happening in the Star Wars collecting world. So to start us off, we're going to have a double one of these.
The Star Wars Tracker Report.
So the first tracker report this week is going to be from the 18th of January to the 24th of January. In all, 791 items were sold for a total of £39,785. And as he sometimes does, Jared has left a little note in the email. A couple of collectors' favourite variant loose figures make it into the top 5 this week. The PvP Rebel Soldier with metallic blow blaster from Spain is also a desirable piece, along with the often overlooked Red Bar R5D4, both fetching healthy prices, in this case of several $100s. Variant collecting can be a tricky area for people as it requires in-depth knowledge of variants, as well as staying in tune with what the community considers a hot item. It's certainly next level collecting, but always keeps the hobby interesting. So on to the top 5 accessories. Number 5 is a Cloud City playset. We talked about playsets a couple of weeks back, and this is a Kenner Empire Strikes Back A playset with 4 figures, sold in the United States for $336. Number 4 is a Millennium Falcon, Kenner Star Wars A, Stormtrooper scene, sold in the United States for $425. Number 3 is a 12-inch Darth Vader, Kenner Star Wars A picture box with LP logo, sold in the United States for $455. Number 2, we have a battle-damaged X-Wing fighter AFA 75 on a Kenner Return of the Jedi A Dagobah scene, sold in the United States for $550. But number 1, we have Luke Skywalker 12-inch on a Kenner Star Wars A picture box with long play logo. The long play logo was on the original Kenner boxes, but it didn't last very long because I think Kenner was worried that there wouldn't be long play items. How wrong could they be? But the good thing is, if you have a long play logo on one of your boxes, you know it's one of the earlier versions. So on to the top 5 loose figures now. Number 5, we have R2-D2 pop-up lightsaber, Kenner, sold in the United States for $360. At number 4, we have that aforementioned Red Bar R5D4, Kenner, sold in the United States for $490. Wow, that is something I've never actually seen, but I keep my eye out for those all the time. Number 3, we have Rebel Soldier, Hoth Battle Gear, UKG-80, PBP, sold in the United Kingdom for £459. That is the Spanish PBP that was mentioned earlier. Number 2, we have Vinyl Cape Jawa, a Tall Toys version, sold in the United States for $635. But number 1, we have the Blue Snaggletooth with Dent AFA 85, sold in the United States for $760. On to the top 5 mock figures now. At number 5, we have Snaggletooth, red one this time, AFA 75 on a PBP Return of the Jedi 65B card. That's from Mexico, $570. Number 4, we have Emperor's Royal Guard, Kenner Canada Return of the Jedi 65A, sold in the United States for $619. Number 3, Imperial Stormtrooper on a Kenner Star Wars 12A card, sold in the United States for $800. Number 2, we have a Luke Skywalker fanboy, yellow hair, on a Kenner Star Wars 12B card, sold in the United States for $1,200. But at number 1, we have another Luke Skywalker fanboy with yellow hair, but this one is a AFA 80. But it's also a Takara Star Wars 12B card, and this one was sold in Mexico for $1,800. Very, very nice. So I'll go on to the second tracker now. This is more up to date. It's the 25th to the 31st of January 2020. 856 items were sold with a total of £50,413. So I'll start with the top 5 accessories again. And number 5 we have an A-Wing fighter. This is loose, but it's still sold for $278 in the United States. Number 4 we have an X-Wing fighter, Kenner Empire Strikes Back A. Red background, sold in Germany for €351. Number 3 we have a 12-inch Boba Fett UKG 80, and this is loose, sold in the United Kingdom for £350. Paying for your grading there, as we sold one at Hanson's a couple of weeks back, boxed for a lot less than that, I think about £120. And number 2 we have a Tatooine skiff, Kenner Power of the Force A, Tatooine scene, sold in the United States for $599, that's very rare, but even rarer is the A-Wing Fighter Droids labelling box, and that was sold in the United States for $900. The top 5 loose figures now. And number 5 are Boba Fett, a tri-logo variant. Kenner is sold in the United Kingdom for £244. And number 4 is a R2-D2 pop-up lightsaber, Kenner, sold in the United Kingdom for £245. And number 3, we have Luke Skywalker, Imperial Stormtrooper outfit, Kenner, sold in the United Kingdom for £250. They're going up in small amounts. And the next one is a Yak Face UKG 85 Kenner, sold in the United Kingdom for £255. So there's quite a few United Kingdom loose figures sold between £244 and £255 with £11. And I've checked those and they're completely different sellers, all on eBay. That's pretty weird. So let's go on to number 1 now. It's C-3PO, the Droids version. Sold in the United States for $375. And our final category for this week is the top 5 mock figures. Number 5 we have the Emperor Kenner Return of the Jedi 77A, sold in the United States for $797. That is weird. And looking at the seller, he has sold 183 items and has got a 97.2% positive feedback. So I'm just looking at the tracker on that Emperor Minton card figure. The minimum is 25 and the closest, this is in pounds obviously, so well, let's the sale price on that is £613 for that Emperor. The nearest one to that is £117. I mean the minimum is 25 and obviously the highest is 613, so that averages now at 121. There are actually 15 bids on it. So I think it's insider bidding, to be honest with you there. And that's something you've got to be aware of. I mean, I could be really wrong about that. I don't think I am. The Emperor mock card figure is not rare. On a Kenner card, definitely not. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't bid on something that the owner had such low feedback, especially with only 183. Anyway, on to number 4, and that's the Darth Vader AFA 60Y on a PBP Return of the Jedi 65B card, sold in the United States for £875. Let's see that's more like it. I mean, it's an AFA 60, yes, but it's a PBP. You don't see a lot of those anymore. That is rare, not like a Kenner Emperor Meta card. Number 3, we have Boba Fett Kenner Empire Strikes Back 32A, sold in Australia for $1,525 Australian dollars. Number 2, we have Imperial Commander AFA 90 Kenner Empire Strikes Back 41C, sold in the United States for $1,076. But at number 1, we have a C-3PO Removable Limbs AFA 85 Plus on a Kenner Empire Strikes Back 47A card, and that was sold in the United States for $1,501. So that was your double edition of the Star Wars Tracker this week. I do believe it's something that every Star Wars collector should have. If you're just starting your collection, it gives you ideas of how much each figure, each item is worth these days. And if you've got a massive collection, it keeps track of that too. You can even put pictures of your own stuff on there. And for the $30 it costs for a year, you can make that back easily, talking to private dealers and showing them how much the average price is for a certain figure. So like I say, it's essential. All you have to do is to go to www.starwarstracker.com.
Penny for your thoughts.
As I said at the beginning of the show, it's not going to be really a structured podcast this week. Not that it usually is. I just want to go through a few of the things that has been happening to me in the last few weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I did talk about the Wall Street Journal article that I was involved in. As you know, I am a so-called Star Wars toy expert. That's not my words. But I like to help out whenever I can. I wrote the article that went to about 130 different outlets. And this one, the Wall Street Journal, just came along. I'm on LinkedIn, and they just messaged me over there and asked if I would look at these photos that they would have sent over. They asked me not to show them to anybody before the article came out, which I didn't, obviously. I'm not that daft. And the pictures that they sent over were amazing. You've probably seen them by now, the article in the Wall Street Journal. This guy's mansion is phenomenal. It's showed pictures of the basement where there were mannequins of, not the original props, but something like I had with the Darth Vader. He must have had about 30 different characters in there. He had a cinema room, he had a bar that was decked out like the cantina, with the cantina aliens in there. He had Vader, he had R2-3PO, he had the Boba Fett with the Han Solo Carbonite, and Chewie with 3PO on his back in the cinema room. I'm sure you've seen the pictures, and it was phenomenal. It looked like he had every single carded figure in cabinets all around this basement. And it wasn't a basement, it was just unbelievable. She didn't tell me how much this house was going for before. Since found out it's going for $26.5 million. Yeah, can you imagine what the rest of the house looks like? So it was nice to get a name check in there as a UK-based podcaster and toy expert. So that was very nice. And as I say, I just want to help people out, help media outlets if they are so interested. And if anybody wants any valuations done, anything like that, just let me know. I've also been writing a few articles, Star Wars toy related. One of them is about Palitoy, and I was trying to research about Palitoy and everything like that. So I was watching a few videos on YouTube. There was Bob Breakin there and the Palitoy tour and everything like that. And what I noticed was a trailer for an upcoming Land of Phil video, documentary type thing. And funnily enough, that was one of the things I was going to be writing about in an article. So I contacted Matt at Spoonjar Films and asked if he needed any help or anything I can help with the documentary, as it's still being made. It's still in the process of being made. It costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time, and needs to get everybody on it. He's got Josie from the Leicester Toy Shop, who I'm sure you know about on these YouTube videos because they're hilarious. I'd look on YouTube for that, the old Leicester Toy Shop, but also look for Spoonjar Films and this trailer. So it looks very interesting. I think I've mentioned the landfill before when I was down at Palitoy at Colville, and I met with all the ex-Palitoy employees. They were more or less pushing me to tell me where this landfill was, and if I had the capital to, because it will cost a fortune to actually dig this site. It's not a matter of just turning up and with a spade or a shovel and digging these toys out. You'd have to get security down there, as everyone knows where it is, and all the residents will be down there within a shot. If they knew that you're digging down there, you'd have to have, obviously, security, you'd have to have the paperwork to be able to dig there. Archaeologists would have to be there to make proper digs. It costs a fortune. So I think what they wanted was somebody to stump up the cash and actually go down there and do it properly. And also something else that I dug up, see what I did there, was an article by a guy called Hussein Kesvani in something called Mel Magazine. melmagazine.com, I've not heard of them before, but apparently it was Geek Week and it was 19th of December, obviously when the film was coming out that week, and it's entitled In Search of the Legendary British Landfill Full of Lost Star Wars Toys. And I'm not going to read the full article because it's quite large, but it's really good. And you should go and check that out. It's basically the story of him coming up from London, trying to find out where this landfill is, going to McDonald's quite a bit, goes to see Joseph in the Leicester toy shop, talks to a few people in the area, not a lot of people know about it. He was talking to the wrong people, to be honest with you. The people I talked to knew everything about it. He goes into the history of Palatoy and a bit about plastic and why it shut down and everything like that. And he returns to London after his unfruitful journey. But I think Colville's taken him by surprise and taken his heart, as it did mine. I really love that area, and I would love to go live there, maybe work there one time. I'd love to do the valuations again, definitely. So here you are, the audio of that trailer.
I've heard persistent rumours about the Palatoy landfill for many years. I believe the story. I think it could well be true.
I think Star Wars has just always captured people's imaginations.
But there might be nothing, there might just be doll parts. But there was stuff buried.
It's a story that kind of surfaces every couple of years.
There's rumours. I think some people do know exactly where it was.
I know this guy quite well, and he said, oh, it's just down here. What? No, it's just down here.
I know that there's a time limit on it because HS2 is planned to go over the top of where they believe it is.
The shop shelves were being cleared for the likes of He-Man, for Transformers. In 1985, Palatoy, they closed them down. They made over 300 redundancies. So the legend goes, around that time, they also had to dump a lot of stock. It really was unsellable, and that's why I believe in this myth of the Palatoy landfill, because it seems very genuine that they could have dumped a whole load of stock there. It's just really interesting to see what condition it would be in.
Everyone's been very secretive, and now whether that's because they think it's a pot of gold. You
are Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. I am Denham Elliott, the old curator guy. I need you to find me one of these carded figures from that Palatoy landfill, please.
And just to get part of the history and be part of the excitement.
It's digging for buried treasure.
Could be absolutely anything, we just don't know.
So I'd like to know what you think about this landfill. What do you think's down there? Would you like to be involved? Or do you think it's just an urban myth that should be left alone?
Somebody once told me the world is gonna throw me. I ain't the sharpest in the
So I haven't done this for a while. I'm going to give you some updates on some new products that are coming out. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of months, you'll know about Baby Yoda, or his proper name, the child. You know we're going to get a boatload of merchandise that are going to flood the market, and won't be tied any bootlegs stuff because they'll be getting taken down immediately. I did try and put one up on my TeePublic store. It didn't even get to be put up before it got taken down. I basically wanted to make one for myself, to be honest with you. But I know now that Primark have them. Yes, Primark. I saw that on Twitter and I asked if it was official, and Primark tweeted to me straight away, yes, of course it's official. So that told me. We already know that Funko are bringing I don't know if it's going to be life size, it's going to be one of the large size Funko Pops out of the child. Plus there will be about 100 different poses for this little Yoda creature. But the big thing in the past week is Sideshow announced that they're going to be bringing out a proper life size figure. This is going to cost $350. Yes, $350. And that's not including shipping. So I didn't pull the trigger on that one, unfortunately. If I had free shipping, maybe. The pre-orders are up on that one already. But to be honest with you, I think I'm going to wait for the Hot Toys one. So I think they've announced they're going to bring something out as two. I am kind of surprised that Funko don't have them on the shelves already. They usually takes them about a week to get things out. Not like Hasbro, it takes them a year. And speaking of Hasbro, a Vintage Collection Imperial Troop Transport is available to pre-order. It's going to be in a Mandalorian box. It's not going to be the original kind of troop transport that they got back in the day with the little record inside it. This one will have opening doors, a top hatch, a removable top, and a detailed interior that includes fold-down jump seats. And there's room to seat several of your 3 3/4 scale action figures. And talking of 3 3/4 figures, if you listen to last week's podcast and the David Whiteley interview, he asked why there was no 3 3/4 figures for the Rise of Skywalker. I told him that they don't make them anymore. And I was asking why. And that got me thinking. I've actually been in touch with Hasbro to find out why or indeed, we know why, because they don't think they were selling them. And they came out with gold figures instead. But I just want to know if they're going to actually be in the future for Hasbro. If Hasbro has got a future with Star Wars, we don't know. That is up in the air as well. The Hasbro PR company that I used to talk to just don't return me emails anymore. So I'm going to keep messaging them to see if we can get an answer for that. And I will probably do a podcast on the 3 3/4 and the future of the 3 3/4 sometime soon. We know we're getting the Vinci Collection still. Things are coming out for that. We're getting Black Series 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. The carded versions that we got for Star Wars, they're bringing Empire Strikes Back versions. I've mentioned that before. There's some strange figures coming out for that, but we'll have to see. There's not a lot of news on what else is coming out for the Black Series in the regular boxes, but it is New York Toy Fair in a couple of weeks, so we should know more then. But something that has been announced and has actually been seen on shelves is in the deluxe packaging, a probe droid, which I'm very excited about. I love the probe droid. Now, the deluxe packaging, the first one was General Grievous, which I missed, and I've been trying to find that for a while. I did get the Mandalorian deluxe pack, the Heavy Gunner. I have been getting a few Black Series lately. Forbidden Planet and Leeds, I've been restocking nearly every week, and I've been going into Leeds nearly every week, so I've been buying one a week or maybe two. I recently got the Lando in Skiff Disguise. I got Zuckuss, even though it says Forlom on the box, it is Zuckuss. So I need Forlom, and I know they have that at Forbidden Planet, so I'll be getting that next. Because you've got to keep those two together as they were lovers or partners. And over on eBay, I bought a Hera Syndulla and the Black Series Princess Leia 40th anniversary Star Wars carded figure. So now I have 5 of those. I'm still after the retro collection, as I've only got Tarkin in that one. And as for my vintage line, I've just got an Emperor, so I need an Emperor's cane. I need a Yoda cane. And I need Princess Leia's cape to complete the first 12. It's weird that I got the gun but not the cape. I know I tell you always to get the figures complete, but I wasn't going to turn down a £23 figure that had the black Princess Leia blaster. I think that's just about it for Toy News. As you may know, Disney Plus is coming out on the 24th of March in this country. That's something to look forward to, even though most of you have seen The Mandalorian anyway. It will be nice to have all the Star Wars media on demand. I, for one, will certainly be watching the Clone Wars again. And the new season, of course. Without further ado, this week, we got a competition last week where David Whiteley kindly gave us 2 autographed books that he has wrote himself. I'm sure you've seen the documentary, The Galaxy Britain Built. And he's given us 2 books to give away. So the question was, what was the Han Solo's gun based on? And the answer is Mauser C96. And the winners are Dan Solo and Matthew Preston. Now Matthew, I've got it up here on email, is to give us a really good answer. He gives us the full answer. The answer to the competition question is, if I remember it rightly, is Roger Christian designed Han's weapon based on George's brief. The Han Solo was a space cowboy, essentially. Roger chose the Mauser, which was an automatic pistol with a wooden stock. He stuck on a sight on top to make it look like a long-range rifle sight, and a piece of muzzle guard to stop the flashbang Flash being seen at night. I think he definitely met his brief. Thanks, Matt Preston. So there you go, Matt Preston and Dan Solo. You have won those books, and those will be posted out to you. If you want to DM me on Twitter or email me, well, where you did it before, just give me your addresses, and those will be posted out forthwith. So I think that'll just about do it for this week. I'll try and do a bit more structured podcasting next week. I'll do a subject, I promise. If there's any subjects you'd like me to discuss, just let me know. All the links are in the show notes. You can email me, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Star Wars Toy Pod. So thank you for listening, and may the toys be with you.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.